My gift was something I prided myself on, that I could see through the physical to capture the heart of the soul. Or at least that's what it used to say at the bottom of my flyer back when I was first starting out. Hey, don't judge. It got me through college. I may never do anything with my engineering degree, but technically I do have one. I can't really describe the process either. I always work cold. That is, I don't want to know anything about my client until the artwork is done. They can chat if they like, and I will do the arbitrary head bob as I go. But I find the more I learn about their lives, the less accurate my paintings become. Over the years, I've learned to compartmentalize. Some call it the zone. That took a lot longer to learn, for it was a learned process. Leaving behind knowledge had been critical when it came to my more recent career, as famous people from all over the world had come to me to paint their souls. People with the very serious world presence. I was even asked to paint the Pope once. He never allowed anyone to see that portrait, and I was bound by my non-disclosure agreement to never speak of it. Between my ability to keep a secret and the accuracy of that painting, my career blossomed. To keep some semblance of distance between me and my clientele, I had a manager/assistant that took care of the bookings. I was perhaps one of the best bosses in the world since I had no prejudices towards anyone. It didn't matter to me who they were any more than my opinion mattered to them. It was a business transaction. They came, they sat, I painted. They paid, we parted ways. It was a very orderly process. I never started work before 10, and black coffee by the gallon was my daily Kickstarter. So I guess I was already grumpy when, at 9:45, I was in my studio with no coffee in sight. I was about to storm out and get something from the Starbucks across the road, when I caught a glimpse of a small head outside my studio window, 29 floors up. I had to be seeing things. I raced over to the window, and when I opened it, a small girl was sitting on the ledge, kicking her feet as if she were splashing at the side of the pool. "Hey," she grinned, lifting her right arm from the ledge to wave at me. Normally, I didn't care that much about people, but I couldn't leave this kid out on the landing like this. Hi, I hedged, twisting myself to get into a position where I could grab some aspect of either her or her clothing. And then I broke my cardinal rule. "What's your name?" "Nunzia." Hey, needless to say, kids weren't my specialty either, but all kids liked making messes, right? "If you take my hand, sweetie, you can come in here and paint with me. That'll be nice, right?" "Say yes." "Sure," she beamed, sliding her hand into mine. The second I had her, I hauled her through the tiny window and hugged her to me. "Damn it, kid, you just took a decade of life off of me. Where are your parents?" The girl in dark pigtails looked up at me and probably burst into tears. And this right here was why I painted in silence. It's okay. How about I give you some paper and you paint for a bit, while I call the cops? Okay? Will you paint with me? I opened my mouth to refuse. I charged thousands of dollars for even a small 10 by 10 inch painting. I wasn't doing one for free. Please? This kid was good. The hands went together and the tears that still clung to her eyelashes and gave her black eyes the perfect puppy dog look. I held up one finger. "One painting," I agreed, because by then Owen should be here with my coffee, and then this would be his problem. Yay! That little shit went and plopped herself at my workstation and began splashing paint across the blank canvas that Owen had set up for me yesterday evening in anticipation of the day's work, without rhyme or reason. "I have no idea how you're talking me into this," I admitted, as I went to my rack and selected a 12-inch square canvas to work with. Since Nunzia was in my usual seat, I dragged my client's stool over to the work table. For the first time in my life, I was genuinely curious what her soul would look like. We faced each other, and I began to paint. 20 minutes later, I realized something was wrong. My canvas was awash with black, not even tons of black. One solid black mass stared back at me. Nunzia was having the time of her life, splashing all manner of colour onto the canvas. I could only stare at mine. Have I lost my touch? Okay, I'm done, Nunzia declared, bouncing down from her chair. She came around my board, her hair and clothes ruined from oil-based paints that would need to be washed in turpentine or methylated spirits if it was ever going to come out. Her dark eyes sparkled with happiness, and despite the mess of her, I couldn't help but grin. Ooh, she gushed, staring at my black image. Is that me? I love it. Can I take it home? I guess, I stammered. Anyone could paint a black square from border to border. Nunzia picked up the painting that was still wet and touched certain points. You know, she said, still grinning, I wasn't sure you were real. Everyone's heard of you, but then everyone's heard of us, too. Kayla thinks you're full of shit, but this proves otherwise. I was about to land on her for her swearing when I realized the speech pattern wasn't that of a little kid. Who are you? The girl tucked the wet painting under her arm. The one without a soul, silly. See ya. And she ran for the door. The surprise burst of speed gave her a decent head start, but I chased after her, not wanting her to get lost before she was reunited with her family. I threw open the front door and charged into the corridor, running smack into Owen, coming the other way. And we both ended up wearing my morning coffee. I waved off his apologies, my eyes searching the empty corridor for Nunzia. Did you see a kid running through here? I asked, turning back to Owen in frustration. His confused face didn't help. Girl, 6 or 7 years old, dark eyes, black hair and pigtails? I put my hand at my waist. This high? Owen shook his head. No, he admitted. He then froze. Were you broken into? It was my turn to shake my head. If anything, I kidnapped her off the building ledge outside my window. I was trying to keep her occupied until you got here and called the police, but it looks like she's done a disappearing act. What's happened in here? Owen gasped, and I knew he'd seen the mess inside. I was an orderly person, clean mind, clean workstation. Nunzia was the exact opposite, and Owen and I both knew that he'd be the one to clean up the mess. I followed him back into the room as he went to where the easels were set up. Owen was staring at Nunzia's picture. I didn't realize you were interested in doing self-portraits, he said, which really got me angry. He was comparing my work to that of Nunzia and not seen a difference. I stormed around the easel, ready to shred him or fire him, or both. And then I saw the painting, the one Nunzia threw together in under 20 minutes. A photographic portrait of me, as I had never seen myself. I was happy. My eyes shone and my smile was deep and genuine. Sticky taped to the bottom of the canvas was a small gift card envelope. You're not the only one who can see through to a person's soul, my dear. But you are the first human to have done so. You've got my attention, sweetheart, and I'll be watching. Love, Nunzia.